And you should... Boom! You should have a message now saying that we're recording. Groovy. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to the Rock and Roll Podcast. I am your host, John Harris. And on my right-hand side is my right-hand man, Gabriel.
What up, Domino Boy?
And today on the Rock and Roll Podcast, we have Lazer Eye, who has a new EP called Lazer Eye, which is like a laser eye within a laser eye. It just keeps going for infinity. And they released the EP. I've got record last year. I don't know exactly when. Was it like late 2019, like November, December or something?
September, yep.
Okay, beautiful. We'll never speak of it again. And then right now I'm being joined by Ryan to share some more information about this beautiful body of work, what the band has got going on, what they've been up to throughout this tumultuous time. What an interesting landscape, especially coming from Scotland. I bet there's some really interesting things we'll be able to chat about from what I've read in the news anyway. But, Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. How are you?
I'm doing beautiful. You are my third call of the day. We're locked in. We're ready to roll. We're making bread. And what else are we doing? This is going to sound like I'm from Scotland for a second. It stopped raining just long enough that I can see a bit of blue in the sky, and I'm waiting for the rain to start again.
I think we got it. Just came back.
Oh, there we go. Beautiful. How's life where you are in the world? How is Scotland these days?
It's not too bad. I mean, we have moved into a new stage of our lockdown. So the shops are back open slightly. Oh, sorry, no. The shops are open and the restaurants are open now indoors as well. So there's a lot going on, which is really cool. However, I am back to working from home, so I'm not enjoying any of it.
Were you working from home?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Were you working from home the whole time? Or you said back to working from home?
Yeah, I got furloughed, so everything's shut down over here. I work in restaurant reservations for a company called Res Diary. So we were... Obviously, all the restaurants were closed. There was nowhere to take reservations, so we had to shut down for a little bit. So I got a glorious couple of months to focus on all the band stuff I needed to catch up on, all that admin. And then I'm back to work. So, yeah, just trying to do it all.
Beautiful. Well, and I'm a chef, so we work hand in hand, and I just went back to work myself. Yeah. That was... I'm an introvert, so I was totally happy with being at home. And I was like, oh, fine, I'll go to work and cook for people. Fine.
That's it.
It was a glorious couple of months, wasn't it? Now, speaking of... Well, it doesn't sound stuck, but speaking of being stuck, we wanted to talk about Stuck and Truthin. And it's a 4-song EP. So out of half of the EP to chat about, why this half? Why Stuck and why Truthin?
Interesting. I would say Stuck definitely because it's the single that we're pushing at the moment. It's the one that we have had a lot of feedback from, a lot of positive feedback. So really getting behind pushing on that one. And Truthin is because it was the first song that we ever wrote as a band. So it was worthwhile kind of introducing us with that one as well, just to sort of say this is what we were going for when we first came out. This was the first thing that popped out of us, as you were. And that's really it, to be honest. Okay, now I want to listen back to Truthin and dissect if it is different from the rest of the work. Because I guess my first question is, when you guys came out with this track, was it something that you guys created intentionally, or did it just happen and you guys said, that's it, right there, you lasered in on it, and you said, that is the truth of the moment, and then you were called Lazer Eye, and then the song was called Truthin, and it just all rolled down from there as a supervillain love army? It's a supervillain love army. Well, Chris actually, he mugged a guy behind, a row of shops that were closed, and he stole the secret lyrics for the song. I'm trying to go along with that there. Cut that bit out. But basically, we went in, we were quite lucky, went into the studio, we were trying to write heavier stuff from our previous bands, and we had our drummer who can drum over absolutely anything. He was just given constant little beats and all that, and we were trying to work on it. Eventually we had a couple of riffs, and we just fired on to put the riffs together into a structure, and it came together in the first sort of session, which is why we were all hooked on this one. We're like, amazing, we've got a song already. That's half of the work done. the lyrics came about as well, just because they're really easy. If you look at it, nothing's really changing that much. It's just repetition the whole way because we were just finding our way. However, we thought that worked, you know?
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, I just imagined you guys getting all excited and giddy, and the bass player was texting his 4 different girlfriends, like, we just came up with something, babe, it's going to happen. And I think the interesting thing about the lyrics, though, is that it starts off talking about how, you know, I'm going to tell you everything, and I'm going to tell you lies. And it's an interesting juxtaposition because, well, I'm going to tell you everything, and that even includes lying, and we don't even get to the truth until the 3rd stanza, even though the whole song is called Truth. And I just think that from a lyrical perspective, I don't know, something poetic happened there. Is it a haiku? What is it exactly?
We were lucky. Honestly, we were just lucky. It all fit together. With the, obviously, want to tell you everything, you know, I tell you lies kind of thing, like you said. If you're going to be telling absolutely everything, it goes hand in hand kind of thing.
I guess my next question is, after you guys wrote that song, did it then set the tone for what would later become the EP, Lazer Eye?
Well, yeah, in a sense. So we had that one, and we were going for a definite, we want to be stoner rock, not like full-blown sleep levels and stuff like that, but, you know, just influenced enough by all the stoner stuff that we listened to, and go for that. So that first one came about, it was really cool, because it was just going for the dark kind of riffs and low chunking on the drop D string, you know, that way. So when we got to the rest of the songs, we were going for a definite sort of vibe, at least. But whether or not the songs, they weren't written deliberately for that, but we were like, anything we came up with, you know, but to make it had a sort of like wee edge on it anyway.
Mm-hmm. And then the track Stuck. What is this track about?
Stuck is... that one is about... I'm sure a lot of people get into that kind of situation, per se, where you've got a lot of... You know, you're helping a lot of folk out, a lot of folk are helping you out, you're asking for advice on things, and you just get like a bunch of folk that, no matter how much advice you give them, anything like that, they just do their own thing anyway. And it just gets a bit tiring sometimes, and that's kind of where it started from. You're like, listen, you know, It doesn't matter what you say, I can't see it ever changing, you're going to do your own thing, and that's absolutely fine. And it's kind of just it being peace with that, sort of, if you could imagine. It's been like, yeah, the world keeps turning, doesn't matter, what's the point in being pissed off? Let it happen.
Yeah. What's that thing Van Wilder said? Worrying is like sitting in a rocking chair, you're moving, but you're not really going anywhere.
I remember that.
He's like, write that down. And take it to the car wash and air dry that shit. Air dry it. Cool. Well, I mean, the funny thing is I'm reading the lyrics, and, you know, you're locked out of your head, on your knees trying to please that old man above and said he's not listening. And the first thing that actually kind of comes to mind is like a teenage angst. Like you're fighting some kind of an authority figure, and you're trying to exemplify or inform this authority figure that you are an individual and you do have freedoms and rights and a path and a potential in life that inwardly you feel that they are not experiencing. And yeah, I guess that kind of creates a recipe for teenage angst. Am I not expressing myself in a way that implies potential, or is this person not seeing my potential? How am I in this charade of what eventually becomes teenage angst that we can often revisit in later years? But that was just based on that first stanza is kind of how I interpreted that.
You put it much better than I ever could. You said you're a chef, not a counsellor.
I read a lot of books, okay?
I'm going to take exactly what you said and say that I said that. That's what's happening right now.
Beautiful.
Ask me that question again.
Exactly. Sweet. So, Stuck. What is this track about? Okay, and then we go back to the EP. We've got another couple of tracks. So you guys said that you wanted to do some stoner mech. Mech is not a word. I hope I didn't offend you. Hopefully that wasn't something in Scottish like
Max Stoner.
Max Stoner.
Got to stoner out.
At the bottom of my boots. Like, I'm sorry. I didn't. You're gonna burn in hell. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean.
Turn on your fuzz pedal.
That's right. Sweet. Okay, so then I guess take us through the other bit of the EP. What should we expect, I guess, when we pick up the EP? Or what did you guys set out to create? Was it just the 4 songs that you felt were resonating the most with the crowd? Or was there something in particular that you guys were looking for sonically or lyrically to represent with the EP?
Well, with the EP as a whole, the 4 songs that we had recorded for the EP were, again, all going for that stoner vibe. And it was everything that had influenced us. You know, there's like Stuck, it's a little bit punchier, a little bit faster. Truthin's a little bit heavier and slower, a bit more drag to it. We've got a song that is the Supervillain Love Army, and that is about, it's more of a sort of Black Sabbath rip, pretty much. You know, we've grown up, me and Chris, digesting Black Sabbath for a good long time. So that was our nod to that. And it also came about because we were listening to the new stoner stuff that's on the scene. We found a band from Sweden called Asteroid. They've got a song called Garden. It sounded amazing. If you haven't listened to it, give it a check out. It's just the thickest, fattest little bounce they've got on it. And we thought we would go for something kind of that vibe as well, you know. With the other songs, it's just more of the same sort of strange mix of melancholy and positivity. You know, try and make everything upbeat, but really sing about what's happening is what we've gone for. And obviously, with yourself being in Canada, there's an extra song on it, but I don't think it made it to Canada just for licensing. We've got a cover of Laura by the Scissor Sisters, and we've done a real sort of stoner version of that. So if you can find that on YouTube if you type that in, Lazer Eye, Laura there. And we've basically just pulled everything down. We've turned the fuzz pedals right up, and we've gone for that. So everything was just like every tinge of the fun stuff that we were listening to at the time, writing all these songs, you know.
Mm-hmm. For the gearheads out there, what fuzz pedal are you cranking to 11?
I love that question, actually. We've got years ago, and it's funny that you asked this because this is quite a recent development that's happened. We had I had a pedal built by a dude in England, Williams Audio, and the guy Nick makes some of the best tone benders, their best tone benders that are going, fuzz face clones and everything like that, and it's all with the old proper parts, so the germanium transistors. So right into that side of things, and I got a tone bender Mark II professional, kind of like Jimmy Page's, a massive Zepp fan. So years ago, got my little Jimmy Page fuzz, and it's just treated me right for years and years. So that is the only fuzz I've got on my board. Everything else is just like octaves and maybe like heavier overdrives on top of it, but the fuzz is pretty much always there. And if you go and check out Williams Audio, I don't know if my accent is going to screw that one up for you all, but Williams Audio on Google, you'll find these tone bender clones. They're amazing. We messaged Nick to say, thanks for the pedal. I've had it for a few years. It's been kicking ass non-stop, and he's going to stick the Laura video on to the website as well, which we're really, really excited for, you know.
Groovy, baby. No, I mean, now that you mentioned the accent, I realize I haven't understood anything you said this entire time. The funny thing is I'm used to the Scottish accent now. Truth be told, the first Scotsman I chatted with, I was like, whoa. But now I'm used to it, and it's not just you guys; it's practically everybody.
Me trying.
Yeah, I'm trying so hard right now.
Hello, John. Can you hear me over there?
Can you hear me? Okay. Beautiful. Now, we had chatted a little bit about coronavirus because usually about this time, you guys would be gearing up for a wonderful year. So I guess my question is, what have you guys been up to during this time, and is there any news that maybe we should expect in the next couple of months?
Well, yeah, the whole of furlough was basically, I was off work. I haven't had this much time off of work since I started working years ago. So, you know what, this will be the time to focus on the band, get everything properly where it should be. And we've got a few songs that we need to work on. Now, the way that we write songs is that we'll come together with a riff and just try and bash it out in the band until it turns into something with all of us, unless something just comes to you like that, which you have to go with and try. So we've got a few riffs in the bag that I'm waiting to take in. I don't want to work on them too much until we're all there together. Looking forward to that. We've also written a music video for Stuck, and we've got a amazing on board for that one. So we'll hopefully get to together as soon as we can actually be in the same room without masks, more than 2 meters, closer than 2 meters together. We'll get a music video sorted for Stuck, which we're looking forward to. We've got ideas for another music video for our song that we're going to do just DIY, and we were incredibly lucky that we had a gig booked all the way back in, I think it was April, maybe March, and the gig was booked for September. And at that time, we thought, that's ages away, but yeah, okay, we'll take it. And as luck has it, this is going to be the first gig back after lockdown. Probably the first run of gigs that's going to happen in Glasgow. As long as everybody keeps wearing their mask, we will be kicking ass in September in Glasgow.
Beautiful. Glasgow kisses for everybody.
You're welcome to have one as well.
As long as we're wearing a mask, it'll be okay.
Yeah, please.
Remember, properly socially distanced Glasgow kisses, everybody.
It's never been so safe.
Exactly. Now, that's all my questions for you, Ryan. So unless there's anything that you wanted to throw out there that I did not bring up, I just wanted to thank you for coming on to the Rock and Roll Podcast.
No, thank you for having me. I'm going to give a shout out to Chris, my bass player, and Jordan, the drummer. They aren't here today because we are socially distanced. But thank you to Duncan as well for putting this together. It's amazing, and it's been lovely to chat to you both. You as well, Gabriel. Lovely to meet you.
You said it was good to chat with you, kiddo. Good to meet you.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Ryan.
Cheers, buddy.